Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Adam Peterman before the 2022 Western States 100. How are you, Adam?
I'm great. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. So you're fairly new to the trail ultra running scene, just started
Yep.
last year, but your high school coach was Mike Foote.
Yep.
So you've
yeah.
known about ultras for a while. When did Western States in particular come on your radar?
I think the first time I ever heard about it was through an event Foote actually organized. Foote and my other high school coach organized this movie showing at our local theater. I think it was my freshman or sophomore year of high school, but they showed Unbreakable.
Uh-huh.
So the iconic film, with Tony Kaprichka and Jeff Rose. And they showed the film, and then they had like three of those guys on a panel, like on stage for questions. So that was the first time I heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was necessarily like inspired to run it,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, it became on my radar then.
Yeah, and then when did you decide this is something I want to do? Because obviously it had to be pretty soon after you started running ultras, or before, even.
Yeah, I'd say like Western States was always the ultra that I would follow when I was actually like when you're in college. I feel like a lot of people don't really follow like trail and ultra running, but Western States was what I would follow.
Got it.
And so I think maybe in the back of my head then, I thought like that would be a cool one to run eventually, like bucket list, maybe when I'm like 40. But then it all happened last year, really. My girlfriend Erin ran at Western States, and I crewed her. Yeah. And just like being here and part of this whole atmosphere, like it just blew me away.
Nice. So it drew you in with just the experience.
Yeah, and I remember like I wrote out like a long-term plan of races I wanted to do. Yeah. And I think I said 2023 Western States was it, but here we are.
Here you are.
1 year early.
Had you already signed up for Speed Goat before Western States?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Last year Speed Goat was kind of the first one.
Yeah. So your first like real trail mountain race was the Rut a couple years ago, and that did not go well.
Oh, it was so bad.
Per your own words.
Yep. Yeah, it was terrible.
But you've stuck everything else. Like
everything else has been pretty good.
Like how do you explain that?
Well, the Rut was weird. Like I really went into the race like pretty undertrained. I was working for the Forest Service all summer, so I was good at hiking, but I wasn't running very much. And I feel like that weekend something was just off. Like I was kind of battling like a little bit of a fever, and like I definitely went to the starting line sick, like of the Rut. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to think that's my best excuse, but I have no idea.
But on the other side, what is your? Do you have any secrets to performing everything else since then? Every ultra marathon you've run, you've crushed.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been able to be really consistent. Like, I try to just like never do too much, but I just try to like keep it consistent, train hard, like push the climbs when I'm running. And I think like in college, I just wasn't able to be this consistent because I was always injured. Yeah. So I'd like to think that in college I would have been a lot better runner if I was able to like string it together. But now that I'm able to actually be consistent in trail running, like I think.
Is that just the approach from like those really good D1 programs where you kind of got a lot of bodies and can just churn and push the mileage and the effort, and some people break and some don't?
Yeah, that's kind of it was a bummer that it happened to me. I ran for University of Colorado, and Mark Wetworm was a coach, and like he's a great coach. Mm-hmm. I don't blame him for anything. Like he wasn't having me run too much.
Okay.
Just something about the intensity and having 4 hard days a week. Like it was just too much for me. Yeah. At the time. And then I just got into an injury cycle like later in my career in college and never really got out of it. So I'd like to think I would have had a much better college career if that hadn't have happened. But really, Colorado, I mean, they know how to train. They train hard, but he's really smart.
Yeah. And how have you tempered that in ultra running? Because it's easy to get carried away. Yeah. I'm just going to go for another easy day in the mountains and crush yourself pretty quickly. How have you avoided that?
For sure. I've just tried to I still cross train and like bike and stuff. I mountain bike and ski in the winter. Mainly because I love it, but I think that's been helpful just to get like more training hours per week. Yeah. Without running, I'll run like 105 miles a week of like trail miles. So it takes a while, but I haven't gone over that yet.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you did run your first 50K end of last July.
Yeah, Speed Goat. Yeah.
The Speed Goat. You got in with 100K at Canyons to Western States. Did you question at all whether you should run this year's Western States?
For sure. Yeah, like I actually didn't think I was going to run Western States. I thought it would make more sense to run like CCC at UTMB. You know, like stick with the 100K plan. But at the same time, like I was just so excited after Canyons to like come back here and give it a go that like I just couldn't turn down the ticket.
And you were here last year with your girlfriend to experience it.
Yeah, and like so it might be stupid, but like I just want to chase what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like I always need to just make like logical steps because we're running 100 miles. Like that's an illogical game.
Fair enough.
That's kind of how I rationalize it to myself.
Is there anything you're looking forward to most this weekend?
I feel like I'm really excited. Like I just have a great crew coming out. I'm like really, really lucky. I have a great group of friends in Missoula I train with, and some of them happen to live in California and Reno over the summer, just like by chance. And so a bunch of my friends will be here crewing, and it'll just be really cool. Like I think about if they're able to run with me like that last mile on the road.
Yeah.
That just seems like it would be the coolest thing.
It's interesting to like because you've run super competitively at D1 in college, like you've crushed your first ultras, but like it seems like you're about the experience and like
it's definitely
seeing
both.
the course and the people and
it's definitely both for me. Like
I'm
really competitive and like I want to do really well, but also like just thinking of trying to race and win this race, like I don't think is my best outlet to doing well. Like for me, I think I need to focus on like what's the effort I can give for this race, give for 100 miles, and hopefully that puts me.
Have you had
in a good
any
spot.
thoughts on that or advice on that, like to meet that effort out? Because it's a lot more hours than you've ever run before.
Yeah, I keep trying to just think of it as like I'll just have to ask myself when I'm out there, like, hey, like, can I actually sustain this for however far left I have?
Yeah.
Because I feel like in some of the ultras I've been doing this year, I've like notoriously gone out too hard, and like the last hour is like really terrible. And so with this, it's like even more scale because it's longer and hotter. And
that's good that you've had those lessons.
Yeah. Like
it's easy to hear about it.
But like, even at Spigo last year, like I thought I'd kind of blown the race at mile 20 just because like some fueling issue. But
is there anything you're not worried about or like most concerned about over the weekend?
I think.
Where's the big challenge?
I think for me, it's going to be like getting wrapped up in stuff early. Like there's a few guys I think who will want to take it out harder than others, and it'll probably be really hard for me to like let them go. So I don't know. Like we'll have to see what happens out there because I think for me to set myself up best for success, I like just have to do what feels right then.
Yeah.
I just don't want to like run my legs out by Forest Hill or something.
There's a lot of running after Forest Hill.
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to keep remembering that. Like I'm trying to be, just like really cognizant that it's my own race and not what other people are doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck, and I hope you enjoyed the experience.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
And a bonus question for you.
Yeah.
So you're coming from Missoula.
Yep.
What's your favorite flavor of Big Dipper ice cream?
Oh, yellow cake.
Yeah.
Hands down. That is the best
that is
one.
A distinct answer. All right.
That one is so good. And some people don't agree with me, but that's my favorite.
All right. Well, I got to get back up to Montana and enjoy some yellow cake ice cream.
Oh, yeah. I live right next to Big Dipper and Dairy Queen, so I kind of go to both.
Got it. Different experiences.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Dairy Queen in Missoula was built in like 1960, so it's actually quite old. It's kind of cool.
Right on. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.